The episode starts with a man with long hair and glasses facing a criminal gang. And we see how he ends up one-on-one, dodging bullets and throwing glass at him, and they don't introduce them as Daro Sakamoto, the greatest hitman Japan ever had. Everyone admired him for the fear he caused the bad guys. But one day, he fell in love and decided to have a family. And we see how he gained weight. Then we see a blonde boy saying that he finally found Mr. Sakamoto, and we see him with his family in his store. While he comes, a child will play inside it. But he accidentally stains a man who was wearing white pants with ink from his backpack, that he accidentally fell, but the man acts very rough and tries to punch him, but Sakamoto stops him and hits him in the throat with a pencil. But it turns out that he's not the only one thinking about it, and the man leaves scared. And that blonde boy is in the store and introduces himself like Shin the clairvoyant, but he imagines how he ends up with him, and he quickly, when he saw that, he imagined that he told him that he was one of his henchmen, and we see how both are at the table talking about how he retired to have a family, and the boy tries to convince him to come back, but he refuses. Then a man comes to ask him for a favor, and Shin wonders what kind of favor if it is to finish someone off. But we only see that it is to cut down a tree. And Shin watches as Sakamoto helps different people in his neighborhood, seeing that he really changed. And in his car, he says that regardless of that, he changed, and is still someone very phenomenal and excited. He says that he wants to work with him again. At that moment, he received a call from his boss. And we realize that Shin is actually working for someone to end the life of our protagonist. And it turns out that he left a dangerous organization to retire, and that couldn't be done. And he in his room says that if he doesn't finish him off, someone else will do it, and it better be someone else. And the next day Shin goes to the store and tells Mr. Sakamoto that he's going to say goodbye. But at that moment, he shoots him with a gun, and the bullet bounces off a piece of gum that he threw, and he tries to find where the man went. And while looking for him, Sakamoto attacks with gum and approaches him skillfully and kicks him, and wakes up with Sakamoto's wife and daughter in his house. And at dinner, he thinks that surely the food has poison, but it turns out that it doesn't. And at that moment, he understands why he left the mafia, and it is to have a lifestyle like that. And he says goodbye to Sakamoto, telling him that he was aware that he couldn't handle him. And he, talking to his boss, gets on his knees and says that if he could spare Mr. Sakamoto's life, but everyone laughs, and he says that he himself will end his life for him since he admires him a lot. But he read the mind of his boss, who said that if he ended his existence himself, he would spare Sakamoto's life. But in his mind, he wishes not. I listen to him, and there he faces the mafia. But we see that Sakamoto was listening and decides to take out heavy weaponry, and if he shows quite a bit of skill finishing off the mobsters, and we realize that he has a special ability, and it is to read the minds of the people who are near him, but unfortunately, they shoot him in the leg, and at that moment, Sakamoto saves him and finishes them all very easily, and the boss tries to shoot Sakamoto, but he is faster than him and his assistants, and we realize that in the fight he had yesterday with Shin, I put a chip with a microphone in the gun, that he had to track him in case what happened. And then he gives him an apron, and Mr. Sakamoto says that he will pay him 802 yen, the hour, and overtime will also be paid by hiring him for the store. And the next day, at the store, he uses his mind-reading ability to give a lady what she wanted.